Live from the Keith Vincent Kaola Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, we are looking at the Jesus and Mary Magdalene connection. Was there something there? Was there a child? Were they married? And now here's your host, JC3.
Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real? Is This Real? And as Anthony said, or Tony, whichever one you want to call him, at the beginning, we were talking about Jesus Christ and his alleged quote-unquote relationship with Mary Magdalene. Is it real? Who knows? But in the booth tonight, as you can see on TV, we have Cito in the place of Big Joe today. Big Joe's not with us today, so Cito, say hello to everybody.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
We have Mr. West in the booth with us tonight. Mr. West, say hello to everybody.
Konnichiwa.
Okay, you gotta talk that low now after screaming in the mic before. Okay.
Damn right.
In the place of Roadblock tonight, we have Tony. You heard him before. Anthony, say hello to everybody.
What's up, what's up?
And you have me. You're welcome. So, gentlemen, we have a full booth tonight with us. So we're talking about Jesus Christ and his alleged relationship with Mary Magdalene.
Who is this woman?
Mary Magdalene. Very good question. Anthony, do you want to take who's Mary Magdalene?
No, you can take Mary's Magdalene because I'm going to take things later down this episode.
Okay, so Mary Magdalene is...
I thought she was... That's not the mother of Jesus?
No,
Nope.
that's the Virgin Mary.
That's the Virgin Mary.
There's two Marys. There's two Marys.
There's several Marys in the Bible.
There's a lot of Mary.
Keeps
Mary,
popping up.
Yeah, okay, Mary...
That's the confusing... That was the
Mary,
confusing
Joseph, Joshua, these are all biblical names that will keep on popping up in the Bible because this is the time that these names were very, very, very popular. Mary Magdalene was, I believe she was the closest thing to an apostle for Jesus Christ. Like
Allegedly.
Allegedly. She followed Jesus Christ around, and apparently the story behind Mary Magdalene itself was that she was, again, alleged that she was a woman of the night. That is a supposed theory that she was. And if, everyone knows what a woman of the night is, right? I don't have to go deeper detail into that.
No. She was a whore.
I was going to say that she was throwing the OnlyFans back then.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Yes, she was the creator of OnlyFans. That's exactly what that was.
You got your first star right there, right?
Jesus Christ, you people. Anywho. But yeah, so she...
So she was an apostle?
She was the closest thing to an apostle without being an apostle.
But, hold up. Now, is she written down in these books?
She has her own... She is in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
She has her own gospel that was never put into the Bible.
Ooh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Anthony, you have something on that, or the Bible verses?
There's a lot of Bible verses that include Mary Magdalene. One of the ideas of Mary Magdalene is that she was maybe not a woman of the night, or maybe someone was possessed. There's an idea that was spun. If there is truth to Mary Magdalene being Jesus' partner in a romantic sense, then when the people who sat down put the Bible together very wisely, if they want to keep his divinity intact, they paint Mary Magdalene to look like a prostitute. That way it throws it all off. But there's a lot of things about Mary Magdalene in the Bible. Like she was in John 19:25, it says that she was at the cross of Jesus at the crucifixion, right? So we know that she was there. If the Bible is real and the Bible is true, let's just take it from there. Then yes, Mark 6.
She was there.
She was there. She helped take down the body of Christ. Mark 16:9. It says, now when he rose early on the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, for whom he had cast out 7 demons. So maybe she was possessed at one point, but she was also the first person to see him after the resurrection. Luke 8:2 also said that 7 demons were
that's
cast
pretty
out.
Crazy. Hold up, let me. Sorry, I gotta just.
No, it's all right.
that's pretty crazy in the fact that like if we're gonna put into context that it's saying that he came to her first, that's really wild that they never like emphasize like anything on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Luke 8, verses 1 through 3. Soon afterwards, he went through the cities and villages, proclaiming and bringing the good news of the kingdom of God. And the 12 were with him, and also some women who had been healed of all evil spirits and infirmities. Mary, called Magdalene, from whom 7 demons had gone out, and Joanna, the wife of Chuza, Herod's household manager, and Susanna, and many others who had provided them out of their means. So these are the women that traveled with them to take care of them.
Is it wrong that in the back of my head right now I have the dun 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 music playing? I don't know why Africa is playing in the back of my head.
That's really fucking weird.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. When you were reading that, it just sounded like a verse.
If you take the Bible as truth, then there's several things in the Bible from different Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. They all say that Mary was first at the tomb when Jesus was resurrected.
I have another Gospel right here that has a little closer thing. The Gospel of Philip.
That's interesting.
The Gospel of Philip says that he referred to Mary Magdalene as Jesus's koinonos, and that is a Greek term for companion or partner, and is depicted as being closer to Jesus than anybody else. In exchange between Peter and Mary, he admitted to her that the Savior loved you above all other women. A tense moment in Scripture that seems to portray the jealousy that the other apostles might have felt for Mary's for Mary's relationship with Jesus. The other evidence used to support the theory is a mention of Jesus kissing Mary often, but some say kissing was the custom, as it was typical of Jesus to practice it with those close to him.
What kind of kiss, though? Like, Jesus could go around kissing people, but how is he kissing? It doesn't say it. And also, the Gospel according to Philip, that's not in the Bible. That's one of those, it was rejected. It's anything that showed Jesus in a more humane way was rejected from the Bible. If you go by the Bible and you just believe what is there, you believe that Jesus was intact, his divinity was complete and undisturbed. He was never someone who took a wife, which is why a lot of priests don't take wives now in the Catholic faith. It's because Jesus was pure. They must be pure.
Ironic how they're banging little boys, though.
Well, that's a whole different topic, but yes. They take a vow of celibacy.
What the fuck, bro?
But, yeah, there's a lot of things that if you look up the Gnostic Gospels and even the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, it tells and paints a much different story than the official account.
It's a very
what'd you call it? A Gnostic? Agnostic?
No, Gnostic Gospels.
Yeah, Gnostic Gospels.
Gnostic?
G-N. Hold on.
Not agnostic.
No, not agnostic.
That's a religion.
No, it's not a religion.
Well,
Agnostic is the
religion.
idea that I don't know what I believe.
Yeah.
Someone put it best. I think this is the best way of saying, like, summing up what agnostic is. I am naive enough to I'm naive enough to know that. I don't remember how it goes. I'm not vain enough to think I'm the only thing on this universe, but I'm naive enough to understand. I'm naive enough to believe there's something else out there. Something like that. It's the idea of, like, I don't know what to believe.
Bro, you sounded straight like freaking Pythagoras or something like that.
Pythagoras? Okay.
Well, the Gnostic Gospels, there's the Gospel of Mary, Peter, Judas, Truth, and Thomas. And that's partially. And the Gnostic Gospels were found...
So you don't say the G.
Right, you don't say the G.
Okay.
They were found much later on. They were buried...
That looks a lot... There's an image that Cito's pulling up, but right now that looks a very... like very mysticism. It looks a lot like kind of Kabbalah like.
Yeah, it's very much.
Well, and I'm just reading this article from it's called CoreChristianity.com, and it's the one fact is one statement that the guy says. The fact that none of the 4 Gospels say that Jesus was celibate. They do not acknowledge that he was celibate nor non-celibate.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like it's a lack of, saying anything.
Sure.
Well,
But again, you're
I mean,
painting him to be a divine person.
Yeah, he's a divine person. Like
And
what you just said it right there. He's still a person.
He's
though.
above human needs and human nature as the Son of God, as someone who is divine. So he doesn't need, to get laid because all he has to do is pray his horniness away.
Okay.
So another thing that they said is rabbis then as now are married. If Jesus wasn't married, someone would have noticed.
That's also true. But do we consider Jesus to be a rabbi?
They called him rabbi.
They called him a rabbi? I don't
Yeah.
see. Maybe that's something that was left out of the Catholic faith because I never
Well, of
heard
course
Jesus
it's-
as a rabbi.
If you go in,
If you think about it, what Jesus was proclaiming was something new, but in the sense they were all still Jewish.
Yeah.
So they still
sure.
they all still like kind of believed in the old traditions of Judaism, which is something that Jesus was always preaching was
I don't like that website name.
keep the Sabbath.
I don't like. Okay, so Anthony searched up "Is Jesus a rabbi?" and the first thing that came up is JewsForJesus.com.
It says Jesus was considered a rabbi in his day, but by the only sect that used the term. But exactly what kind of rabbi was he? Where did he agree and differ with theology and other rabbis? So, who knows?
Well,
you know what I mean?
But
Okay,
he wasn't acknowledged. But he wasn't acknowledged by Judas priests.
They're also
Back in-
saying
back
Judas Priest?
Judas priest. Yes, yes.
Or Judaism.
What's that Jesus fellow doing? Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Okay, so it says, though Jesus was called rabbi by his followers, there is no indication that he held any formal official office. His followers addressed him as such simply because he was their teacher.
He carried his certificate in the glass frame everywhere he went.
Well, no, what they're saying, because when
It
you...
was placed right next to him at the cross.
That's fucked up. Y'all are fucked up.
Oh God.
They hung it in the tomb before they moved the rock in front.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Help us all.
Yeah, the man
We
was
should put a
talking
little
about-
counter up on the video of how many times Joey goes, Jesus Christ. Bing! Just went off again.
Yeah, heathenous activities. Bing!
Well, we don't know. Like, again, everything with the fucking Bible is about interpretation.
Yeah.
Did they interpret that Jesus was a fucking rabbi? Then he was a rabbi. But does that mean he's the same kind of rabbi as we understand what rabbis to be today?
Yeah, 'cause
who the fuck knows?
Yeah, because if you think about it, he was preaching something different from the Jewish faith, and he was just called a rabbi because they knew that those were like.
And we are back. Now, we were just talking about Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ and their supposed relationship. And then there was a movie based on, well, book first, then movie based on it by Dan Brown, called The Da Vinci Code, which Eric has only seen once. Cito, how many times have you seen The Da Vinci Code? If you've seen it.
I was probably like, 7 when I seen it?
Same, something like that.
You are literally almost 10 years older than
Well,
he is.
you know what? I was probably like 7 at heart.
Oh, dear God. Yep, another counter for Jesus Christ.
But have you, seen it since then or no?
Nah,
No.
Not even Angels and Demons, the second one?
nah. They made a second.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's 3 books out there,
Mm.
right?
The book you were talking about, the Da Vinci Code, is written by Dan Brown. And Dan Brown does a wonderful job taking history and paintings and statues and works of art and weaving a fictional thriller through those things and tying ancient conspiracies, and it's all pivoted around his main character, Robert Langdon. And Robert Langdon right now is the main character, I believe, of 5 or 6 books. The last one being Origin, Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code. It's not the Solomon Key. It was the original name for it.
The Lost Key, isn't it?
Yeah, the Lost Symbol.
Lost
The Lost Symbol. That was set in America. You have Inferno, and you
that
have
was a prequel,
Origin.
wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. And you have Origins. So that's 5. If there's another one I'm forgetting, it is what it is.
I
But
wonder
the
about
problem,
Illuminati.
the problem with Dan Brown,
For some reason, it all kind of correlates. I mean, not
do-
all.
it-
but,
It's
you know.
Dan
it's all
Brown
about
verse.
it's It's
Dan-
all.
it's Dan
It's the same
Brownverse.
character. It's the same character in all of his books. Robert Langdon, Professor Robert Langdon from Harvard. They're wonderful books. I enjoy them. They're fun reads.
And that professor
I
has a
have
shitload
I
of
have them
adventures.
all. The problem with him is he starts every book with a little page that says fact. The paintings here are depicted accurately. The works of art are depicted accurately. These societies are real, blah, 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 blah. And that's a problem because you're saying right off the bat that this book, the things that you're about to see in this book are true. And that's not the case. What he does is he takes these things, these works of art, these historical things, and
Well, they're true works of art.
they
but
are
he's-
true works of
they're-
art.
they're
But he
he's
weaves a
threading
story through them,
fake
and that's
story.
not true.
Which to me, that's incredible in its own right.
Oh, it is,
Like,
absolutely
That
is.
is a
It's the-
fantastic way of doing.
it's the work of a great story writer. But the problem is when you look at when you're laying down the grass and you're looking at the stars, you can make pictures out in the stars, right? That doesn't mean that those stars are there to make that picture. You are forcing an image out of what you're seeing. That's what he's doing when he writes this work of art, when he writes his books. He's taking these ancient societies, these secret places, these ideas, these works of art, and he's writing a story. He's connecting them, and they're very, very loose. They're not. What he's doing isn't actually accurate. If you want a more accurate book that deals with Mary Magdalene and Jesus, the book is called The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail. It was written in 1980. It was released in 1982. There's documentaries, BBC documentaries about it, and it's written by Michael Bagent, Richard Lay, and Henry Lincoln. And the whole thing with that is they believe that Jesus had married Mary Magdalene. They had children, one of whom's name was Sarah, and Sarah married into what would become the Merovingian line of kings in France, and that Jesus Christ has a descendant. And
that
there's
descendant is royal blood.
yes, and there's a actual thing out there called the Priory of Sion. They're a secret society, and it's speculated
Not
that
that
not
secret.
only
Not that secret.
Well, the shit they do is
yeah.
secret. It's like you know there's Illuminati, you know there's all these secret societies, but you don't know what the hell they're doing.
right, and the
you know what I
Priory
mean?
of Sion supposedly guards the true secret,
So fuck me for trying to. Make
what the
it funny,
Holy
okay.
Grail is. That's what it all comes down to, the Holy Grail. What is, from your guys' experience and not understanding, what is the Holy Grail? West, what do you think the Holy Grail is?
What do I think the Holy Grail is?
You've heard about it. It's part of folklore. It's the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana
If you
Jones
just
shit.
say a cup, I'm gonna throw something at you.
No, it's
no,
okay.
nah,
What
it's
is
not.
the Holy Grail from
Nah.
your understanding?
From my point, from my to my true, honest to God understanding of what the Holy Grail is, I believe that it is the Philosopher's Stone, which is also just a key to just immortality and just where it also unlocks a part of your brain where you accumulate Christ consciousness, where you're on the same type of consciousness and wavelength that you can do the same type of things that Jesus Christ does. That is what I think the Holy Grail
Okay,
is. I
all right.
swear to God.
Cito, what's your take on it?
Deep.
Do you understand
Power
it, or
Stone?
yeah, it's like
No,
it's like
I understand it. Crazy thing is, right?
You don't believe it.
I'm not that far
no,
off.
no. Whether he
No,
believes it or not, what do you
okay,
think it is?
I have two sides. I
don't
believe
mean to-
it
hold
and
on.
I don't.
I don't mean to take over hosting duties, but this
No,
is
no,
something I've
that's
done
fine.
a lot of research in and I like.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cito.
So I believe it and I don't, right? I would, if I'm going to say I believe it, it's pretty similar to him, besides Philosopher's Stone and all that. But when it comes down to it, I think the Holy Grail itself might be just another way to represent Eden, especially the old stories, the Apple of Eden, knowledge and all that.
Mhm.
Maybe some kind of form representation of that.
Okay,
But there's the other side of me where it's like, I don't believe it at all.
gotcha. Joseph, what's your understanding of what the Holy Grail is?
Well, I mean, it's not really an understanding. I mean, it's
What do you think the Holy Grail is?
to me, I can believe that it could be something like this. Because I'll be honest, I do believe.
That it's just a cup.
No. I do believe that Jesus was not celibate. That Jesus did have a family. Because if you look at the teachings and stuff like that, he's
Mhm.
talking about love your family, stuff like that, be a good person, and to me, I never understood, even though I am Catholic, to sit there and go, well, if we're gonna teach future children, but if there's no like if you go on based on what the Catholics do, there's no there's priests and nuns that can't have children, so there's no future Catholics to teach. So it never understood to me about any of that. So I do believe that Jesus does have.
What the fuck are you talking about? What is the Holy Grail, Joe?
If you listen to what I'm fucking saying before you cut me off.
It's teachings? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it's Jesus' bloodline.
Okay.
That's what I was getting.
Okay.
Fuck.
For those of you playing the home game out there, what the Holy Grail is...
It's not a power stone.
No.
Well,
it's okay. Everyone's
listen,
interpretation is fine.
It
It's
may
not a
not-
problem
it
with
may
that.
The
not
final gem to the Infinity Gauntlet.
Nah, it may listen.
You know
it
what
may
it
not
is?
be. It may not be a stone. It may not be a stone, but it is. It is the type of consciousness that Jesus was on. That is confirmed for a fact.
Okay.
I know that for how. What fact? My facts, motherfucker.
Now, what
It's
Jesus...
Jesus' drug of choice. That's what it was, right?
What a lot of people think
Nah.
the Holy Grail was during the Last Supper, Jesus took a cup, filled it with wine, held it up and said, "This is my blood, drink it," right? That chalice that held the blood of Christ is the Holy Grail, right? And the thing is,
So you're trying to tell me that it's just a cup?
it was a cup, not just a cup
A
that
special
held the blood
of
of
Jesus
Christ.
A special.
Same
cup.
thing of the Shroud of Turin that, that wiped
The
away
what?
Jesus. When Jesus fell during his
The
march
second
to
time
be...
he fell, right?
Yeah, I think
Second or
so.
third.
When Jesus was marching to be crucified, there was a woman who stopped, and I think it was a woman, who cleaned his face. And Jesus' face left an impression on that shroud, that parchment, that fucking hoodie. Who knows what it was? That piece of cloth.
Yeah, the band T-shirt.
Yeah. So, the Shroud of Turin, that's what
Jesus
it's called.
tour circa 33 AD.
It's a holy relic, right?
Asshole.
The Shroud of, the Thorn of Crowns.
It was his tour shirt. Oh my God.
The spear that pierced the side of Christ when he was hanging on the cross. These are all holy relics associated with Jesus. So something,
Have we found any of those?
couple of things, but it's nothing to be verified 100% that it was Jesus. You can't run a DNA test on the fucker because we can't say it.
You can carbon date it.
You can carbon date it, sure, but who's to say that DNA is definitely Jesus? The only way to do that is to have a living descendant. Now,
Yeah. But also with carbon dating, you can't really get genetics.
I'm not
as-
talking about genetics. I'm saying like if this is,
Yeah, you could get
The
something that's
sphere.
from this time, right?
you know,
But
it makes everything like again. He's right.
Yeah.
You
it might
need-
get a little convoluted solely because the fact that remember who did this and during that time or where was it at? Where
Exactly.
They did it literally every other day.
so the Holy Grail, for most people out there who understand what it is, it's a chalice that was used at the Last Supper to hold the blood of Christ.
Yeah, but in the sense, aren't people idolizing a cup?
No, it's not that you're idolizing a cup. It's just like, hey, this is like, it's part of the Jesus collection, the Jesus Fall lineup. It's one of those things that, no, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, it's an artifact
Yeah,
associated
you ever see
with
those
the Messiah.
infomercials on at 3:00 in the morning?
Are
That's
you a Catholic?
That's exactly what he's saying.
Here's why it's so important, right?
Jesus
It's a
Christ.
symbol that Jesus existed. Not just a symbol, it's a physical symbol. It's proof. It's something that a Catholic can hold up and go, this right here held the blood of Christ. And you can't deny that, right? That's what the meaning of it is. What this book
Imagine
did.
it's in my book bag, and I just be like, "Oh, you mean this?
This old
Yep, most definitely.
this old wooden cup.
No, it's one of Dad's mugs.
You mean this? Hold up, I got it. It's this."
Wow.
What this book does, Holy Blood, Holy Grail, it looks into the idea of what the Holy Grail could be, and if it was
Not
misinterpreted.
even the Holy Grail could be. It's literally just a way for people to just stamp
What-
and say that the Bible is 100% accurate because
True.
because we
Well,
found
not
the cup.
100% accurate. Like,
No, but it's
it
another
will,
thing of
it will
proof.
show
can't-
the,
but-
the proof of Jesus Christ.
It's not. It's another thing of proof. It's another piece of evidence to say, yeah, look, we have
He's
this
real.
too. Yeah, but
He
what
was.
else? But let me ask you
He
a
is.
question.
He is real. I guess you could say that.
Let me ask you a question. What else holds blood?
A human body.
these nuts.
That's just wrong in the Jesus episode.
Sorry.
I think if that's the case, you need to go to a doctor.
True.
Yeah, if you're coming blood, a womb.
Okay, so I'm not that wrong.
So and what in the shape of a womb is what? It's shallow.
Anything can hold blood if you try hard enough.
Well, anything can hold blood, but like a shape of a womb
That
is
sounds
like
very
that of a
dark.
chalice, isn't it? It's like a cup. It's short, tall sides. It's in the shape of. It's a womb. It's where a baby is.
Now he's going pagan on us.
No, wait a second.
Okay, so
we're
I'm
not
not
going
sure
to
if
get into this conversation.
I'm not sure if
We're, no, do
Okay.
not.
No,
No,
so
no,
we're
no,
not
no,
fe-
no.
so
We're not going to go into this conversation. But my point is,
No.
they interpret that the blood of Christ did not matter if it was in a cup.
What does this have to do with this woman?
I'll tell you, because if he knocked Mary Magdalene up, that means the blood of Jesus lied within her womb, which means that it proves that Jesus had a child. And if they could prove out there that there is a living descendant of Jesus Christ, the fucking Catholic Church would shit the bed. It would destroy everything the Catholic Church teaches. Because the Catholic Church teaches that Jesus was celibate, that Jesus did not have a wife, Jesus did not sire children, Jesus was divine. And because he was divine, he is above man. And if you can knock Jesus down a peg and say that not only was Jesus a man, he fucked like a man, he had children like a man, that would shatter the image and the divinity of Christ. And when you put one chink in the armor, one chink,
Huh?
you can sit there and rip everything else down. You question Jesus. Right now, Jesus' divinity in the eyes of the Catholic Church. In the eyes of the Catholic Church, Jesus' divinity is pure.
Yeah.
Because he is the Son of God.
Again, this is just the Catholic.
This is just the Catholic Church. But if you could say that he's not just the Son of God, but Jesus was also the Son of Man, that questions his divinity, and it undermines the teachings of the Catholic Church.
Well, to me,
and
I
don't want that.
I never,
they don't want that.
I never understood that
You
because
just said you don't want that. You're on their side.
No, I misspoke. They don't want that. 'Cause
I don't understand why they would sit there and not want something like that. To me,
well, I just said it. It would undermine.
no, I understand that,
the
but what I'm
divinity.
saying, to me, that just makes him more, at least in the eyes of me, like a Catholic. It makes him more relatable. It makes him more, okay, Jesus
It makes him
was
more
a man.
human.
Yeah, and I could sit there and have belief in someone,
You don't want human when it's your Messiah you're talking
but
about.
you can though.
Well, this is your interpretation. This is your opinion, right?
Yeah.
To millions of people out there, Jesus is the Father, the Son, the Holy
Holy
Ghost,
Spirit,
they're the whole Trinity. The Dad, the Kid, and the Spook. Okay? You don't sit there and say that the Son of God is fallible. Because that's what it leads to.
Because the Son of God will never commit sin.
Exactly. That undermines Jesus as the Messiah. It undermines Jesus.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't know. I know there's a lot of diehard people out there.
I don't know if it would undermine the whole Messiah thing, bro. Because if he was really doing the miracles out there in them books too, then it just proves that them books do got some valid points to them too.
And that's
No, because if anything, it would prove that those miracles might actually be false. Because if he's more human than divine being, he won't be able to do this.
I don't believe that.
It could go either way.
I believe I could sit there and he could be a divine being, and to me that would actually
he could have
in my eyes it would raise him another step in my eyes, because to me, one, it will legitimize, of course it'll have proof of, okay, this is the blood running through this person's veins, whoever it is the Holy Grail or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
The Holy Grail would be Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, okay, but it would
descendant,
be the descendant of Jesus Christ, meaning that person was true. And then you could sit there and go, I mean, granted, again, to me, I'm more of a
You're more progressive than
I like to have
yeah.
fact. Not saying I don't believe in Jesus Christ. Not saying I don't, because I do. But there would be more validity behind it than just the teachings of a priest or something in the Bible. Stuff.
I
like
agree,
that.
but look at all the people.
It would throw the world into a whole.
It would. I'm getting a weird flash of deja vu for some reason, but look at all the people throughout history that the Catholic Church has slaughtered in the name of Jesus Christ.
In the name of God, not Jesus Christ.
Both. But you didn't believe in Jesus was just as bad as not believing in God. Or if you had a different God and you said Jesus wasn't the Messiah, that was just as bad. You were put to death. Billions of people, the Catholic Church through history, put to death because of the idea that Jesus was a divine human.
And you know what the crazy part is too? Just to throw this in out there too. The whole, you know what the role of the Messiah is too, right? No,
Bring
no.
the world together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you know.
I thought it was
but-
a trick question. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm saying
No,
like,
no.
We all stared at him like,
he's going to pull some shit out
Dude,
of
the,
me.
whole,
no,
the whole SpongeBob meme, like,
I guess everybody got quiet, and I'm just like, wait.
yo, to be honest,
like,
I
y'all
thought
don't-
he was
y'all-
gonna say some kind of ligma joke, like,
Nah. Nah, it says that he's gonna be like he's gonna round up everybody that's bad and just like kill everybody, bro, and then kill everybody.
not kill. You're going to descend into beyond.
Bro,
and
you
then-
are not gonna exist anymore.
It depends on what you believe. It goes right back to what you believe. People like the Messiah will come, round up the true believers. He will guide them to heaven, leaving everyone else behind to fend for themselves. And eventually, if you don't go to heaven, like at that point, after the Messiah comes, they shut heaven's gate, and you're either alive or you're in hell. Like that's one belief.
which I don't understand that belief.
I don't. There's a lot of
It's
that I
not.
don't understand.
I feel like sometimes when people say these things, I feel like it's a contradiction of what God was supposed to be.
God, listen, you want to look at shit in the Bible as contradiction? Yes, there's thousands of them. Just
Yeah.
take the story of Noah's Ark,
Yeah.
right?
You could take it as him being petty the entire time.
Oh, yeah, especially in the first
Oh, yeah.
first half. In the Old Testament, it's like God was a wrathful fuck, and then after he had the kid, he calmed down, right? But look at the story of Noah. You're gonna sit there and tell me,
You only needed to get some to calm down.
hold on a second, you're gonna sit there and tell me that he's going to flood the earth because he's gonna start everything over again. He tells
supposedly because everything was already plagued because of
Right.
like
I get that.
because of angels and
I
stuff
get that.
like fucking up all shit.
He tells Noah, gather your shit, build a boat,
Gather
get
your
two of every animal, take your family, and for 40 days and 40 nights, it's going to fucking rain,
shit. A lot.
and then I'm going to flood the world. It's a fucking hard reset, and you're going to reset humanity. Excuse me, I just have one question. Fishermen existed. You're going to sit there and tell me that after you flooded the fucking world, that the guy who owns a couple of boats didn't just jump on his boat and ride it the fuck out? It makes no sense. Like, if you look at
it was that
scripture
bad of a storm, bro.
if you look at scripture logically, none of it makes sense, which is why I interpret it as symbolic stories. Did Noah exist? Did he build a fucking boat? Probably not.
Could've.
That's only my interpretation
Yeah,
of it.
he could have.
He could have, but did he flood the fucking world?
just
No, absolutely not.
It's just like
But
you
don't they? But
believe
don't
the
they have
story
like?
of
But
Moses.
don't they have like geological proof that like the world really did flood at one point?
There's geological proof that floods have happened, but not all at once.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the part of the Middle East flood at one point. Yeah, Montana used to be a fucking ocean billions of years ago. Well, what are millions, billions? What dinosaurs roamed around then? But that was then.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, a billion years ago,
You know what I mean?
All the countries and continents were all together with Pangea, too.
Exactly. So, yeah, there have been floods,
And we're
massive
slowly all
floods.
becoming back into one continent again.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna
mean,
be a new Pangea.
I mean, just look at fucking. You look at the story of Adam and Eve.
Jesus.
The story of Adam and Eve is a
New
contradiction in and of itself.
Yes.
The Cain and Abel, who are they fucking? Nobody. But it doesn't say the.
Yeah,
doesn't
word. I brought up that point the other.
Yes. The
the
next
other
thing you
day.
hear is that they're both happily married.
They have wives, and you just think to
Where the
like,
fuck they come from?
Yeah, exactly. It goes that like
why
Cain
the
killed
Bible-
Cain killed Abel, and then after that, him and his wife went to go and make the Canaanites.
Canaanites.
The Canaanites.
But the problem
But
is
then
you,
exactly like you said, like where the hell did the wife come from?
right. But the problem is, and
Wasn't it only 4 people on the earth?
this is me talking now. I'm saying that it's a problem. I'm not saying that. This is my opinion of it. The problem is you have preachers, churches, and sects of faith who preach that that's the truth. That what you read in the Bible is literal. If you add up all the ages of all the people in the Bible, it's only 6,000, and that's how old the earth is. That's the problem I have with religion. Is people take it and interpret it, and I'm going to say it, and
thought
it's
it
going
would
to
be-
sound wrong,
Wouldn't it
but
be older? Because didn't it say like some people live for like 800-900 years?
That's also true. But this is also, I'm going to sound wrong when I say this, and there's going to be an argument, but I don't care. This is why they are wrong in their belief. Now, you can't tell that somebody is wrong. You're absolutely right. I can't say that you're wrong for what you believe.
Like believers?
No. When they sit there and go, well, the Earth is 6,000 years old. God planted dinosaur bones here to test our faith, and that the world flooded, and Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, and that's it. Well, where the fuck everyone else come from? But they don't want to answer that question. They believe these things. They believe the Bible verbatim. And I have to sit there and go, you're wrong. I'm sorry. That's not the way the world works. You can't have two suns and then populate the world. The world did not flood and you brought two of every animal in the fucking boat. That didn't happen. And I can have anybody out there argue with me. There's groups of people on this planet, in this fucking country, that believe that the earth is 6,000 years old and dinosaur bones were put here to test our faith. No, they fucking weren't.
I'm not one of those people.
No, I know you're not. And a lot of them, I don't want to say a lot of them, a majority of them get militant when you tell them that they're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Sorry. Yes, you are.
I'm not wrong.
I
That was
can't.
some passion.
I can't.
Right? Like you felt that.
And again,
you felt
if
that,
you're
right?
out there and you're listening to me and you don't agree with me, that's fine.
Challenge him on Twitter.
I
on
can't
TikTok.
respect people who have that kind of mentality. I can't. I immediately think that you're an ignorant person and you're choosing to be ignorant. Because dinosaur bones are millions of years old.
Yeah, but you know what? But the expression goes, ignorance is bliss, bro.
No, I know that. But
I'll be very honest with you. I'll be
given right.
No, I agree. I will sit there and defend that.
And I will be honest with you, bro. Like when you really remain ignorant to things, like you really live a better like.
No, I agree with that 100%.
You just like, yo, you know what? Like I don't give a fuck.
Fuck it. I agree.
It's like, yo, he can't. It's like, yo, man. He said it was born from a virgin. Hey, man.
That's what
it
it
happened.
is.
It happened.
And to your point, Joey, that's what they believe. Yes, and I will. This is the United States of America. They have the right to believe that.
Religious freedom.
And I would defend them if I had to defend them in a public court, defend their belief, their right to believe in it. 100% I would. But then I would turn around and go,
religious freedom.
I don't respect them, but I believe in their freedom to have that belief.
Woo!
I don't believe in it because it makes no fucking sense and it goes against everything that's natural.
First Amendment.
Then,
But they have the right to
well,
believe
see,
that.
it goes.
So how does this go back to Mary?
What I'm saying, it all stems from that because you could sit there and
Like Joey said, everything this season is going to spiral out of control from one topic to another.
The reason is
Yeah.
because it all goes back to, especially when you talk about religion, you talk about all this stuff about religion. Now it goes back to belief. And you could spiral it out of control because it always knocks down. It's like a domino effect. It always knocks down to the next point of belief. And you're talking about the Bible, and then when you talk about the Bible, you're talking about is it real compared to whether they're stories just to teach something, and then
or is it factual and literal?
So it all knocks down to each other. And to get back to your point is, they believe that, and you can't believe that, and then you have the next person, like you have Josh, who'll sit there and say, well, the man, that man you like, Jesus Christ,
Your favorite man.
Your favorite man. So it again, it's a domino effect with that also. So again,
Religion's very finicky.
When it comes to, religion and belief, again, you can't tell somebody they're wrong for what they believe in.
No.
Yes, you can.
Well,
No, you can't.
You can't. Well, you can, but you're gonna be looked at as a wrong person.
yes, you're 100% right. I can sit there and go, you're wrong for believing that because it makes no
I'm
sense.
not wrong.
But at the same token, in this country, we have the freedom of religion. That's the First Amendment. They have the right to think that way. It is what it is. Not to get off topic, but I just have one question,
One answer.
right?
Maybe.
Here we go.
We take that Christianity, regardless of its form, Catholicism, Episcopal,
Episcopal.
whatever
Episcopalian.
Lutheran, all of them, right?
Uh-huh.
Put them in one pot.
Rastas.
We have Jews. We
You
have
said that with a little twin.
no. We have Jews. We have Muslims. People of the Muslim faith. Like I'm listing off like the big, there's like 5 religions that dominate the world, right?
Well, the big
Six.
three that
Six?
the big three
What
that
are
you
the
me-
The big three being
The
you know,
Abrahamic-
Muslims,
Jewish.
those are
Jews,
Abrahamic
Muslim.
religions.
Christians,
Right.
and then
Yep.
Hinduism,
Right. Buddhism.
Oh, what's the last one?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on
Atheism would be a big thing.
No, it's
too.
not. That's not a religion. But where I'm going with this is,
There's a s-
we used to
type of-
like
it's like a cult.
we teach our kids that stuff. Well, we used to, but growing up, I was taught this stuff like Egyptian gods, Greek gods, Roman gods, Norse gods. They were all Aztec gods. They were all gods that were created because the people of that time didn't understand how the world works because of science. They didn't have it. So they believed, okay, that's the god of the sun, that's the god of the moon, that's the god of the plants, that's the god of the water, whatever.
And then like how you said, everybody else just rounded up and just said, "Fuck
Okay.
you."
Right,
it's
now
just
all
one
of
guy.
those things, Egyptian, all of them have been put to the side like they're not real. We know they're not real.
Joey.
When did Norse go ahead.
What?
Okay, and when he's done, can I go on a rant?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be that rant like Dad had.
Oh God.
Hold on, but here's my question.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we put all those religions and said that's the old way of thinking, they're not real, and these are the major 6 that dominate the world now, when did Norse mythology become so popular all of a sudden? I have seen a huge
Pop
influx.
culture, media. stuff like that.
Are these people believing in the Nordic gods, or are they believing in the aesthetic of the Nordic gods?
No, it's the aesthetic.
I believe it's aesthetic.
Nobody's sitting there.
Believing that
praising-
Thor.
Who
Thor.
said that actual Nordic religion or Nordic mythology died?
No, I'm not saying. Okay, there's
I know
like,
that.
okay,
I know.
There's people out there that probably still sit there and
There's an entire manga based on like
yeah,
Vikings now.
they're probably okay.
It's great.
And Valhalla and
Yeah,
shit.
Vinland
there's
Saga.
people
Vinland Saga.
out there who sit there and probably still believe in
Not
Aztec
sponsored, by the way.
religion, or Norse religion, or all of these religions. I guarantee there's people who still out there believe in that. I'm not saying there isn't, because
Yeah, especially
some
with
people,
the internet. Especially with the
Yeah,
internet
exactly.
nowadays.
Sure.
But it's not as at the popularity as it used to.
Well, I've seen an uptick when it comes to the Norse mythology.
And the reason that is because of pop culture and the media as what it is today.
So you
right?
think it's more of these people are more in line with
Yeah, think
the
about it.
aesthetic versus the actual mythology behind the
Yeah,
aesthetic.
think about it, bro. A few years ago, people were witches all over the place. Now they're Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. Okay, so you had Thor
I
come
got,
out.
I got a lot of people I know like they rock the Mjolnir around their neck like it's a crucifix, and I'm like,
they have Thor come out. Thor came out, did a big thing with that. What was the? I don't know if it's.
well, there was the
same thing.
Viking show. Then you have God of War now's
God of
set
War.
in the Viking era.
Percy Jackson, I think, is that one of
That's
them?
the Olympians. That's,
Olympians,
Yeah, that's
okay.
different.
Yeah, same
You
thing.
know, it all comes down to the same type of shit.
So-
Media in itself makes what's popular. As
No, I
right
know.
now, you're
But-
That's
sitting
why
there.
it's called pop culture. But I want to hear what Cito says.
So this that actually ties into my rant is that overall, when it comes to those religions, and Norse is one of the biggest things when you actually look at it. Norse, like the Norse mythology, never technically died. It was just combined with religion, like Christianity.
Well, that's what a lot of them did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you actually look at the stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like someone did a comparison of stories, and looking at it, was very interesting how like the whole Norse mythology, you got the tree of life, and then you got the Eden,
Which is the Garden
Yeah.
of Life.
the Garden of Life, all that. You have the tree, the trees with the apples and all that. You have a
Mhm.
serpent, you have Jormungandr,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
two things. But it's overall, even back then though, like, which always interests me that literally sometimes there was Vikings that would say, "I am a Christian on land, but I pray to Thor on the sea."
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff like that is like, I don't know. It's just a slight rant that I just wanted to go on
So
because it goes on to
What you're saying is basically is because of the combination of the stories into the Christian religion, it's Norse people believe in the Norse stories through Christianity.
No,
other way.
no.
It could be an other way around effect
Mhm.
because technically, if you want to count it, the Norse mythology came slightly before Christianity was developed, or at least the widespread of it.
I just want to say fuck you, Josh, for not being here tonight because I would really want to hear his opinion on this. 'Cause I know he's
he
gonna
can't hear anything.
Yeah, he'll be
Can't hear
fine.
Shit.
Love you, Josh.
But we're gonna take a short little break real quick, and we'll be right back. And we are back. So to bring back Mary Magdalene,
Yes.
we got a little tangent on that. But like I said, these episodes are going to go back and forth between all that because religion's very hard to sit there and not tie together and just talk about incomplete. So these next 6 episodes, or from
Cool.
where we started, 6 episodes, might just feel like one giant fucking episode.
Might.
That's what it might do.
Just switch in people here and then, and
Yeah, just switching. I'll be here most of the fucking time. So let's go back to Mary Magdalene. Let's again give our point of views from everybody here. So Anthony, I'll start with you. What from your point of view, do you believe in this conspiracy theory of Mary Magdalene and the stories of these theories that came up?
It's hard to say with a definitive yes or no. And I'm going to say that because we don't have a lot of evidence to say that it's true. We have the Gnostic Gospels, which we know have been written as an alternative view on Jesus' divinity that were put to the side and not included in the Bible. So that's a point that says maybe there's something there. The way you interpret the Bible, which is everyone's got their own way of interpreting it. You can interpret that, it says that she was Jesus' partner or she was closest to Jesus. Does that mean something closer like, a wife? Who knows? So I can't put interpretation there. But then you look at something like the Priory of Sion, which has a mission that's been going on. And it's like the idea of what the Knights Templar did after the fall of Jesus Christ and they were supposed to protect the Holy Grail and how that's been lost to history. These secret societies like the Priory of Sion or something like the Knights Templar existed for a reason. We don't know what that reason is. And if it has something to do with Mary Magdalene, then I would be inclined to say that, yeah, Jesus had a closer relationship with her. And maybe there was a child that came out of that. And let's face it, you put this guy to death. If you find out he's got a kid, you're putting that kid to death. You're wiping this motherfucker off the map because that's what they believed in then. It's scorched earth.
You really about to turn this into real life One Piece, right, bro?
I don't know what you mean, but okay.
Real life One Piece. He about to be.
yo.
He's like,
And that's one anime I never got into.
That's
But
Right above both
that's
of our heads
Gold
over
Roger.
here.
What
Yeah.
you talking about? And then the future descendant is
Ace.
It's gonna be the future protagonist of the world story, bro. And we're just
But
side
then
characters.
there's gonna be some guy that's gonna punch a hole in him.
The
all right.
Antichrist.
Anyway, like I was getting to.
E.T.
The One
phone
Piece is
home.
the Holy Grail.
When you have a lot of these pieces on the board, and you can weave a great story and say that they're all connected, and you can interpret things to
Doesn't Jesus win though?
you can interpret things differently to add to your story. But until we find for sure that there is a descendant of Jesus Christ out there, until we find for sure a true lineage, whether it is historical text or a genealogy that's been traced from the time of Christ to modern day, I can't sit here and say that that's the definite truth. Holy Blood, Holy Grail was a good book that proposed this very intricate idea.
Oh my God, what's your answer?
But I don't. I guess my true answer is I don't know. I believe that Jesus was a man, and men are fallible. Jesus could have dipped his wick if he wanted to. Do I believe that Mary Magdalene was
What the fuck does that mean?
What?
It means Jesus could have been fucking.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But was Mary Magdalene a prostitute? I don't know. This is historical shit from a time in history that we don't have enough evidence to back that claim up or not. We don't know
Well,
what really happened.
What time period are you guys assuming this happened in?
I don't
Tw-
know.
uh,
I wasn't
Well, again,
there for this.
hold
dude.
on. There is a time period in the Bible where we from I think it's from the age of 13 to 30 that we don't know what Christ did.
That's true.
There is a time
Allegedly,
a time
there's also-
jump
Yeah.
in the story of Jesus Christ from age 13.
Yo,
Here-
my
to
man's
30.
really does the post time skip, bro.
Yeah.
There's a story. I don't know which Gnostic.
Damn.
Allegedly, I didn't read all the Gnostic Gospels, but allegedly there's a story in the Gnostic Gospel. I don't know which one. Where someone Jesus was young. He was like 13, 14 years old. Someone questioned his divinity because he said he was the Son of God, and Jesus threw him off a roof and killed him, and then brought him back to life, and went, "Believe me now, bitch." Like there is you have to do your homework, but if I'm right,
That sounds
there's
like
a story
something
that
a
Jesus
13-year-old
killed
would do.
somebody and brought him back to life to prove that he was the Son of God. It's one of those miracles, but it also shows a wrathful Jesus, and they didn't want that in the Bible. I guess my summary, my
I'm
short
not gonna-
answer is this:
I'm not gonna lie. That's a badass way to prove you. That is a very badass way to prove
How was
you.
hell, motherfucker?
That he said, "Yo, you ain't the son of God." Bet. And then just brought him back. Yo,
Yo,
I was like,
all
what
I'm
was
saying-
Jesus doing on the roof? He was a carpenter, not a masonry guy.
That's true. I was thinking it's
He
like
wasn't a roofer.
the guy gets down to hell. He's just seeing the devil, and like the devil's like, oh, and he just
and then he just zoops back
Like,
up.
you're here. You weren't supposed to be here for another. Never mind. How ironic is it that a carpenter
It's so funny
was
how we
put to
some, like,
death by
jokes
being
are-
nailed to wood?
Anywho, Cito, your answer. Fucking asshole.
Yo, for real, what was your answer? All that and we still never got your answer.
we never got
He's on the
it.
fence.
He's
I'm
okay.
on the
He's
fence.
on the fence.
I am leaning more towards.
The fence.
I'm leaning more towards that Jesus did have a child with Mary Magdalene, and Mary Magdalene
It's a tipped fence.
got a very bad rap.
Well, look at the size. Of course, the fence is tipped.
Okay, it's a tipped fence. Okay. Fence.
Mary
Next.
Magdalene was
Next.
got a very bad
Next.
rap.
He doesn't shut the fuck
Next.
up, right?
I don't.
Next, please.
All right, so for me, it's I don't know.
Love
When
you,
it comes
Tony.
to,
We shot.
I know. I can go.
when it kind of comes to all summarizing it, I guess I could say I agree with Tony a little bit. Like I can, like when I'm thinking about overall like just Christian stories and Bibles and all that, like we've seen countless time man succumb to man things. Adam and Eve, all that.
That was a woman.
But but one thing was one thing like you could say was freedom of choice, yada yada yada. I don't know. I kind of agree with Tony. My only thing
Hey,
was
you know, these days you have to separate the two now, all right?
It was freedom of choice, but bitch, you made the wrong choice.
my thing
Why
is,
give me a choice at all?
It was her only choice.
Go on.
Okay, my
She
thing
could have
is,
said to Satan, stick the apple up your ass, but she didn't.
turn off his mic, please.
That's fair. Turn my mic off.
All right. So my thing is, if there is a bloodline of Jesus, we will never find it. That's probably the best thing because genealogy only can go so far back.
True.
Like we are in 2022, and technically, if you're looking at it, that happened in what near the year 1.
Well,
Yeah,
1
two-
AD. yeah.
2,000 years ago.
Yeah, 2,000 years
Well,
ago.
it depends on how far genealogy can go back.
Well, let me put it like this. I did the ancestry on our family.
How
I
far
got-
did it go back?
I got back to 1901, and then it goes back to Italy, and there's no fucking records. Now, I'm sure I have to go to Italy to find some records, but what's available to me right now through the paid website is dick. So, like, we're having trouble figuring out
Damn,
how
so-
people came.
well, your ancestry, but there's other ancestries.
No, but I mean, what
ancestries that go
I'm just
back.
using it as an example that we are having problems figuring out what happened to people 125 years ago.
Well, no, they're having problems finding what happened to the Kaolas 125 years ago.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but
and I'm
that
sure
can
that's a
correlate to
lot.
everyone else.
Yeah,
That
it
correlates to a
applies.
lot
Yeah,
of
we're
people.
not the only ones. So if our genealogy records are that fucked and it's only 100 years or so, you're talking about 2,000 years.
Yeah, think about it, right?
And no one was
the
walking around
amount
with a
of
book.
how the bloodline, in this case, is so diluted.
Mm.
That's another thing. the dilution of the bloodline, and if there is a bloodline, how much people are there the descendant of Jesus?
Yeah.
That is a lot of people from the year 1 to today.
Yeah, you're talking about genetic markers that are 2,000 years old. Even if we had something with Jesus' blood on it, and we knew it for sure, and we had a descendant, what is the fucking percentage that it would match? You know what I mean?
At this point, probably be like, what, 10?
No, I would say like less than a point.
10 is like, I'm just tossing it up.
My point is, if it matches, it fucking matches. It mattered. Try it anyway.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna walk on water.
we won't know. We won't know.
Yeah.
I'm not talking. You're not the descendant of Jesus Christ.
We don't know that.
Wes, what's your thought on it?
I'm on the fence.
Okay.
He's going to be the next One Piece character.
He's just keeping his. If I talk that much, he wants to be the opposite. He talk the least.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. Short,
Alright,
sweet
so,
answer.
No
No explanation, just fence.
I'll play the mid. I mean, again, this is something that you can't sit there and we could sit there and prove, because again, there's so many things that are against us. But I mean, I guess you'd like to call it a progressive Catholic. I guess that is.
It's certainly not traditional. And traditionally, it would be like, no, it's the
You're
son
like
of God.
Bernie
She's
Sanders
a whore.
of Catholics.
Yes. That's true. Yes. I want. Never mind.
Bernie Sanders is Jewish.
Just smoke your thing.
Why hasn't Jesus come forward? We don't understand most of the things that Jesus has done. There are many things that Jesus has done that we don't get.
I'm gonna make the priests pay. That's what I'm gonna do.
All Catholic churches will pay their taxes.
Anywho, so I mean, like I said, it could be. There could be a descendant. I mean, am I going to sit there and say no? Am I gonna sit there and say yay or nay? You can't. I mean, you could sit there and have this debate all day. Would I like there to be? That's a question you can ask. To me personally, yes, because it just has the validity to me at least, to sit there and go, look, Jesus was man and divine.
No, all you're proving at that point is he was man. Doesn't question his divinity. Unless his descendant, and we know for a fact that is Jesus' blood in this person, unless that person is doing doing like tap dancing on a pool, or changing like, water into fucking.
Yes, Chris Angel. That's his
No,
descendant.
that's not Chris Angel. Chris Angel's an asshole. Like, look, I turned water into Red Bull. Like, sit down, Jimmy Christ. Like, unless we knew that for sure, all you're going to prove is that Jesus sired a child. You would not be able to prove the divinity of Christ.
Well,
You know,
that's
but you
where
put
my belief will come in. And
Well, yeah, of course that.
What does sire mean? Because the way that you just said that does not sound right.
To sire a child, it means to have a kid.
yeah.
I just needed to know what that meant because it just.
Anywho,
didn't sound
next week's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be fun. Guess what we're talking about next week's
What are we
episode,
talking
guys?
I forgot about the whole schedule. I'm going to be honest.
We're talking about the Antichrist.
Oh my god.
Woo! See me next week.
So we're talking about Jesus Christ's potential kid this week and the Antichrist next week. We know how to play it, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So anywho, from all of us here at Is This
We're
Real,
having fun next week.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Not
from
that
all
kind of
us
fun.
here at Is This Real, I would just like to say, question everything, and we'll see you guys next week. Good night, everybody.
That's me.
Night, everyone.